Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be suspicious of her abusive ex. I've got an email here from a guy, and apparently the ex-boyfriend, the abusive ex-boyfriend of his girlfriend is still in her life. And it's at the point where it's obviously creating problems in their relationship now. And he says, "Hi, I've been dating this woman for about 5 months. We are planning to move in together. However, plans are a bit day-to-day as she recently experienced a minor car accident. The part that I am still gray on is this guy who she dated 2 years ago that she keeps as a friend. They both keep in touch frequently, and the history between them is close since she took care of him after his heart attacks. He also owes her a lot of money, which he cannot repay, so she asks him to complete odd jobs around the house as payback. She also mentioned he was abusive physically, and that is the part that turns me off." Totally understandable, dude. He says, "She recently became defensive when I said, I don't really care about him since I don't even know him, and he was part of your life before I met you. She is now keeping this relationship with him behind the scenes, like he comes over to fix something in the basement and I only find out about it after the fact. And all this makes me feel uncomfortable as I feel she still has feelings for him. And I can sense it by the way she talks about him and all the memories that she keeps talking about and repeating. I would say that's definitely a red flag, dude, and you shouldn't ignore that." He says, "About a month ago, I left her house, and after she mentioned she was planning on having coffee with him to catch up on the good times. I mentioned that I feel uncomfortable when she keeps on talking about him, but she keeps on repeating it. And that tells me that she basically doesn't give a damn what you think." He says, "I also am finding that I am giving her too much, and I feel she is not giving back as much, so I am thinking to slow it down from my part to determine her response. I also think that my interest level is starting to drop because she's acting very rude when she says I'm not listening, and unless I start taking notes." When a woman tells you that you're not listening, that means that basically she feels like, usually what happens when a woman starts talking about her problems or what's going on in her life, and she wants you to listen, most guys will go into logic and reason mode thinking, oh, I've got to solve her problem. And when a guy tries to solve her problem, instead of just shutting his mouth and listening to her, it'll cause her to feel like, oh, he doesn't understand me, that you don't listen to me, and you don't get me. And probably part of the reason why she spends so much time with the ex-boyfriend of hers is because he understands how to listen to her. And so when your woman starts talking to you and you're not sure whether she wants you to just listen, because women resolve their problems and their issues by talking about them with either their girlfriends or preferably the man who is their source of masculine strength in their life. But if you're always trying to solve her problems instead of just listening to her, what you need to say to her is just say, do you want me to listen or do you want my advice? And she'll come right out and tell you. She'll say, I just want you to listen. And so when she's talking, you just sit there and you go, really? Uh-huh. What else? Tell me more. Don't leave anything out. And when a woman gets to a place where she feels she's resolved whatever the issue is that she's trying to work through by her talking and you listening, she'll usually do this. She'll go, oh, I feel so much better. I'm so glad we talked. You're such a great listener. I love you, honey. And those are the kind. When she says that, it means that she's resolved whatever it was. And all you really did was just sit there and listen. But if she hasn't sighed and she hasn't said, I feel so much better, I'm so glad we talked, then it means you haven't dug deep enough and you need to get her talking. What else, honey? Tell me more. Don't leave anything out. You need to say those kinds of things. What else? And keep her talking until she sighs. She says, oh, I feel so much better. I'm so glad we talked. And so that would be one thing that you're doing that's causing her to shut down to you emotionally. And so since the ex is there and he's obviously good at listening to her, and so that's why, think about it, when she goes and has coffee with him, that's what she's doing. She's talking to him and he's listening to her because you're not doing an adequate job of that in your relationship. So that's one thing that I would say on your part that you need to fix. But the other thing is that, because if you're doing that, and you guys are talking about moving in together, but she's not able to resolve her problems or her issues because you don't know how to listen to her, or you haven't communicated through your actions that you're a good listener, then she's getting that outlet from him. And what you need to do is you need to start getting her to talk and open up, because if she opens up to you and she can talk and resolve and work through her problems without you trying to solve them or giving your opinion when she's not asking for it, then what's going to happen is she's going to be kind of on the fence, where she's still going to have this guy in her life, and yet she's going to still have the intimacy that she gets from you. And so if you can help her resolve all of the, whatever the day-to-day, she had a fight with her girlfriend at work, or she's pissed at her mother or her sisters, or whatever the mundane things that women happen to talk about, if you can start doing just like I talked about, getting her to open up, and then she'll spend less and less time with this other guy. And the other thing you got to keep in mind is the number one most important thing to us guys in relationship is loyalty. We want to know that our girl is going to be loyal. And obviously, it's a burr up your ass that, and it would be in any guy, that your girlfriend is getting her outlet of talking and communicating with her ex-boyfriend, because obviously you haven't done an adequate job of it yet. And so that's what I would do in that part. And I would also communicate to her, say, you know what, I don't like you're my girlfriend, and we're talking about moving in together, but yet your emotional outlet is your abusive ex-boyfriend, and I don't like that. That makes me feel uncomfortable, especially the fact that you're not even telling me about these things, because when a woman doesn't tell you, or it's like after the fact, oh, so-and-so came over and he fixed the garbage disposal, or he fixed my car, or whatever it happens to be, say, I don't like that. You guys were together for a long period of time. I understand that he owes you money and everything, but I want to know that you're all mine, that you're 100% into what we have. And quite honestly, I feel like you're not 100% into our relationship, and you're not putting forth the same effort that I am. And it makes me uncomfortable. And I want to get to the bottom of it, and that's where you got to talk to her, and you got to get her to open up, because right now she's on the fence because she gets emotional support from him, and she doesn't get it from you because, just like she said, you don't listen to her. And so that communicates to me that you're not being a good listener, and you don't know how to open her up emotionally, because if you were, she wouldn't even want to hang out with the ex-boyfriend. But like I said, she's getting some things from you that she likes, and she's getting things from him that she likes, and that's why she's kind of on the fence here, and why she probably hasn't moved in with you, and things aren't going well in that respect. So my advice to you is to communicate to her exactly how you feel about this situation. Just say, hey, if we're going to live together, I don't want this guy coming over to our house all hours of the day and night, or when I leave and go to work, he's coming over and hanging out and having coffee with you because we're not talking or we're not communicating. So you have to get to the bottom of it. You got to get her to open up to you. And once you start doing that, she'll just start spending less and less time with him, and eventually she won't even talk to the guy anymore. But you got to pay attention. You got to watch out for the signs. You got to, like I said, if she's still continuing to do this, then obviously you need to get to the bottom of it and find out what's really going on here, because you're not going to feel comfortable in the relationship if this crap continues. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions, your situation, your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet. And I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. I always got to answer their emails first. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, on my website, underneath the email sign-up box, will be a link that will take you to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. And you don't have to have a Kindle device to read the Kindle version of my ebook. All you have to do is, once you get to the download page, there's a button on the right-hand side, and when you click that button, it will open up a window where you can download a free Kindle e-reader app for your Android smartphone, or your Android tablet, your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac, or your PC. It takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app. And after that, it only takes a few more seconds to complete the purchase of my book, and you'll be reading it in no time. And I will talk to you soon.